So since we got such a full house, I think I'll just riff a little bit. Is that cool?
Do it, please.
So this is a Star Wars show, right? So I should bust out one of the fan favorites, my James Earl Jones impression. Ready? So here's James Earl Jones as a black comic in the 1980s. White people be saying shit like, "Hey, give me some more mayonnaise in my tuna casserole," and brothers be all like, "Yo, I want me some more of that fried chicken," and call it greens. And white people be walking like this. Look at me, I have a stick up my ass because I'm white. And brothers do it this way. Yo, I got soul, I'm super bad. And white people be punishing their children like this. Little Johnny, go sit in the corner, think about what you did. And brothers do it this way. Simba, his liberty disobeyed me. And what's worse, you put another in danger. Somebody could have been killed. Your only job was to look after a king. How could it ever come to such a pass? You are to confine yourself to our suite at the Waldorf Astoria. And I want you to bathe him thoroughly. See, I switched movies there. I switched from The Lion King to Coming to America. Thank you. Forgive me, I'm a little hoarse. Thank you. Yeah, you can clap. Yeah. I'm a little hoarse. I was doing some VO work today, and I was trying to get like some voice matching work as James Earl Jones, but they were like, "No, it's too comical. It's too funny. Like it doesn't actually sound like James Earl Jones. It sounds like a white guy doing an impression of James Earl Jones. So what can I do? I've studied him. I've listened to how he talks. Basically, he starts slowly. He over-enunciates every syllable very distinctly, and then he speeds up toward the middle and slurs all the words together, and then he slows down again at the end. That's how you do a James Earl Jones impression, other than just having a naturally deep voice and a good ear for impressions. So you guys might know this. James Earl Jones wasn't the first choice to do the voice of Darth Vader. Anyone know? Any geeks? It was actually Orson Welles. Yes, Orson Welles. Another person I'm told I look like sometimes. What do you think? So for those who don't know Orson Welles, who's probably all three of you, here's my impression of Orson Welles as a black comic in the 1980s. No, I wasn't doing Darth Vader just there. I was breathing heavily because I'm highly overweight. I got depressed and started eating a lot of food ever since they ruined my career after I made Citizen Kane. What can I tell you? So white people be saying, "Give me some more mayonnaise in the tuna casserole." No, come on, even more mayonnaise than that. No, come on, just pour on the whole jar. I'm very hungry. Put it on the peas. Every summer peas grow there. Are you sure you want to say it that way? You just showed a snowy covered field and now you're talking about peas in the summertime? Come on, fella, you're losing your head. Show me a jury that tells me I did it wrong and I would go down on you. Yes. That's an actual quote that Orson Welles said, yes. So, whatever, I don't care. No one ever laughs at the Orson Welles shit. It's too obscure. He's been dead for 30 years, nobody cares. But whatever, I do a very good impression and I look like him, so something good has to come of that someday. So anyway, Star Wars. Yeah, we're talking about Star Wars. I've noticed, like, especially in the last, 10 plus years since episodes 1 through 3 came out, the following, the people who love Star Wars, the fans, are a lot like religious fanatics, you know? They're like, because they love it no matter what. Like, no matter how bad the first 3 movies suck, or how silly they add stuff, they just keep loving it. Like Bible thumpers and believers, whatever, you can throw anything their way and they'll believe it. And also, if you read the Bible, a lot of it seems like it was written by George Lucas. And I don't mean in terms of like, epic battles of good and evil and monsters and alien and angels and all that other stuff. I mean in terms of like, it seems like someone wrote the original story and then came back 20 years later and shoehorned in some other stuff. That's what I mean by George Lucas wrote the Bible. For example, the story of Joseph from the Old Testament. They made a musical out of it in the 70s. Basically, the first chapter goes like this. Jacob had 12 sons. Of the 12, he liked Joseph the best because he reminded him of Joseph's mom, which is kind of weird. But the other 11 got jealous and tried to kill Joseph. But then they thought better of it and sold him into slavery in Egypt. By the way, don't masturbate. Yeah, because if you masturbate, God will kill you. Because Joseph had a brother named Judah, and he had 2 sons, and one of them masturbated, and God fucking killed him. So don't do it. By the way, back to Joseph. Yeah, so he was in Egypt, and he was a slave and everything. So that has nothing to do with the rest of the story. It shows up right there, and that's all. That's where that comes from. That's where like Bible thumpers are always telling people not to whack off because they read that little passage that clearly someone inserted years later because they wanted people not to whack off, so they put that in there, because I guess they didn't think anyone would notice. I don't know. All right, I got to polish that bit, but got to tie it back into Star Wars too. So let's see. Let's pretend there's a crowd here. You guys, are you guys in showbiz? You work in the media? You Star Wars fans? Yeah, cool. So yeah, I work as an animator during the day. It's a fun job. But like any other aspect of showbiz here, you get a lot of people asking you to work for free. And that annoys me, especially as an animator, because I don't think people realize how much work goes into it. It's like going up to a construction worker and saying, hey man, build my whole house for free. And then maybe a rich person will walk by my house that you built me for free and see it and want to pay you to build theirs. That's how that works, right? Yeah, sure. But and, you know, I get it all the time. I'm used to it. I'm so used to it, it doesn't even faze me anymore. Except when my former employers who used to pay me asked me to work for free. That's weird. Like, I was working at a studio, and I got laid off because the project ended, which happens. So I started packing up my stuff and getting ready to leave, and they were like, where are you going? Home? You just fired me? And they're like, oh, well, you don't have to leave right now. I mean, don't you have a project you can stay and work on here? Yeah, but I also have a project I can work on at home. It's called smoking a joint and going on Craigslist to look for a new job. You know, that's what I'd rather do. But they still wouldn't leave it alone. Like, they kept calling me every few months, and this is after hiring other people to replace me. You know, they kept calling, hey, how come you never come by the studio anymore? You know, you're missing out on a lot of great opportunities by not coming by here to look at other people do your job, you know. That'd be like an ex-girlfriend calling me and saying, how come you don't want to come over and watch my new boyfriend fuck me? What's the matter with you? You're missing out on a great opportunity, you know? That's how it feels. Anyway, I think I'll leave you with that note. I think I've warmed you up sufficiently. I'm going to let the rest of the show go. I'm going to put the mic back, and I'll be over here drawing all night. Thank you. Good night.